Hi, it's Guy Arnold. This is the third video in the trilogy of how to use win-win agreements. And this is how to use win-win agreements proactively. This is when you're putting plans together to get other people agreed to. This is when you're putting ideas together. I use this a lot with clients when they say to me, what are your thoughts on this, or how would you solve this problem, or whatever. And the point here is you need to remember to stick to the rules like all of the other situations. Rule number one, be proactive. Habit number one, it's up to you what you do. You can actually do anything here. Number two, begin with the end in mind. What are we trying to achieve here? That's going to be built in. Number three, put first things first. Well, we need to make sure that some structure that puts it in order. Number four, think win-win. Okay, so we need to clarify that. We know what our win is. Our win is sticking to our values and our principles. Building relationships, because we're all sharing a planet, and it doesn't matter whether you like or dislike the person or agree or disagree with what they think. That doesn't matter. The idea is to build relationships so we can come up with higher ideas and third alternatives, and through the process to absolutely generate great outcomes. Okay, I'm just trying to think. Remember where I was there. So the number one is right. We have habit four. So think win-win. Habit five is then you'll need to seek first to understand, then to be understood. And habit six, work together, synergize, working together for a better outcome. And habit seven, sharpening the saw, i.e., building in renewal. That's the accountability and consequences. How are we going to keep this new? How are we going to keep it sharp? How are we going to keep improving? How are we keep developing? So, when you're trying to put a plan together, it may just be a simple email to someone. It may be a long-term plan. It may be a life plan. It may be a relationship plan. It may be a divorce plan. It may be a family plan for how we're going to have a successful family. It may be a personal development plan. It may be a recruitment plan. It may be an accountability plan. It may be a review plan. It may be a strategy plan. It may be a sales plan. It may be a marketing plan. It may be anything plan. It's a plan. And this is how, because all plans need to be win-win. Okay? A sales plan needs to be win-win. You need to win. Your business needs to win because you need to make a sustainable profit so you can grow. And the customer needs to win because you want them to feel that they've had a fantastic experience and a fantastic deal so that they want to come back to you, rave about you, and tell all their friends about you. A family plan needs to be a win-win. It needs to be a win so that the parents feel that the children are kept safe and are acting in responsible ways, but also so that the children have ways of learning and expanding and growing and having the freedom they need to grow up and be responsible adults. Yeah, big issue in families, massive issue in families. Okay, so every plan needs to be win-win. And when you're putting a plan together, the best thing to do is to do it in 3 stages. Number one is put your skeleton in place. And there's your skeleton. I, Dr. Grack. I, Dr. Grack. Okay? And remember, this is in three areas. I is, what are we trying to achieve? GR is what is the plan? What are the ideas? And AC, accountability and consequences, is what's the follow-up? How are we going to keep this alive? How are we going to make sure it works? Okay? So the first thing is put the skeleton together. So you may have some ideas. You may say, well, I think my intent, but remember, intent is usually may have the words in it to get a solution we're both happy with. Okay, you may want to use that many times, or it may be part of you may have a business with a customer-focused mission. You may have a personal set of principles, etc., etc. To raise a family, for our family, one of the things we talked about was roots and wings. To raise a family with roots and wings. Roots so you feel grounded and feel supported. Wings so you can fly and make it be successful in life. So the intent is to build a family with roots and wings, or to get a solution we're both happy with, or to put a process in place that blows the customer socks off and gives us great profits as well. So the intent is the big picture, the long term, the really deep stuff, the transparency. Okay. Secondly, then the desire is what results do we want from this process? What are the results we want as a family? What are the results we want from this relationship? What are the results we want? Okay. And guidelines is ideas. What ideas have I got? What resources do I think we have or we might need? How could we possibly hold each other accountable, and what might the consequences be? And as you can see, I've only put a few bits and pieces down here because this is a skeleton. This is the start of the skeleton, and perhaps putting a bit of bit of flesh on it. Because what you don't want to do is you don't want to make this, I made this win-win plan and I'm giving it to you. There's your win-win plan, so you can win and I can win. Because you don't know what their win is until you've listened to them, okay? So you're just putting a skeleton together at this stage. You may have a whole lot of stuff that you're making notes about elsewhere. Other stuff of mine. Can we call that? Other stuff of mine. Then maybe all the way down here. You make notes somewhere else so that you can bring it in later on and make sure you don't forget it. That's absolutely fine. But for now, it's just a skeleton to the other person and say, well, look, I've put some ideas on what we're trying to do, sort of my intent here and some results. You may even just do that. What's the intent and desired results? What sort of a couple of maybe even just a couple of desired results. So maybe a little bit, or you may want to put in intent, desired results, and maybe a bit of accountability, and maybe a little bit of consequences. Whatever is appropriate for the situation, or you may want to give a full skeleton to them. Okay, say, look, I've thought of a bit of a plan for this. Here are my first thoughts. What I'd really like now is to listen to you. And of course, that is the next step. So the first step is the skeleton, and to do it in order, so that because the order gets your thinking straight. It's so hard to think of things objectively and sensibly when you've got strong opinions or you don't know what you're doing. This is a simple order of timeless, universal, common sense principles to help you get it in order. Okay? The next step is you say, please let me listen to you. And I forgot to say this in the last video as well. In a reactive situation, you get your piece of paper, you ask them if they like to try to work, that you're trying to try and find a solution you're both happy with, right? And then you say, please can I listen to you? Very often you don't need to say that because they'll be going for it already, but it's a very important thing to remember to say and to have in your mind. I want to listen to you first because it's seek first to understand, then to be understood. So the next thing is, you've got your skeleton. In this situation, the next thing is you've got your skeleton and you go, now here's my sort of basic ideas. What I really like to do is listen to you and find out what you think. And then you go back into the reactive situation of the open questions, the 4-colour pen, the blank paper, the taking notes, the reflection back, the going round and round and round. Remember, going round and round and round. Okay, and do all that. It's fine. That's exactly what the purpose is. You want to get them to open up for you. Okay, so you set the structure and you let it flow. Okay, and you just move through the process nice and simply until you both find this solution that is better than either of you could have thought up on your own, this third alternative. And you know when you've got to this solution, it's because you both say, yeah, that's great, let's really go for that. It's exciting, there's energy, people feel really upbeat and go for it on it. So you get it little by little, okay, by using the system. And so I think really that's about all there is to say on this one, because we've done so much on the first 2 videos. Please do give us a shout if you need any simple guidance or advice on this, or you have a specific situation where you feel you're struggling on this. We can certainly add value to that and help you. But like I said in the last video, if you go to the gym regularly and use the systems and do the stuff, you will get fitter. It is a natural law. It's a natural principle. And the same applies to this principle here. If you use this structure and get on and do it, you will get better outcomes. There is no ifs, no buts, no maybes, no, well, you've got to be careful of this and that. So there's certain things, of course, you do obviously have to be careful of, but we've covered them. But the thing is, if you actually do it and you use it and you do it properly and you do it with integrity and you make sure that you keep your own ego at bay and you keep your own prejudices at bay and you don't allow external issues to cloud the thing and you question brilliantly with open questions all these things that seem so obvious. Well, what do you mean? But then let's talk about, well, we want to be happy. This is a family situation. We want the family to be happy. Okay, well, what do we mean by happy? What does happy actually mean? What does happy mean in practical terms? Okay, fantastic conversation that needs to be had. And remember, of course, all of this, reactive and proactive, it can be done very quickly or it can be done over days, weeks, months or years. The time scale is what it takes, okay? But the process never ever changes. The principles never ever change. All the other communication ideas that we see, saying the latest thing in communication, they all fit into this structure. I've never come across something that doesn't fit into this structure. I've never in 30 years used this structure and it hasn't worked. It always works. It always produces better outcomes. And it always gets us to where we want, which is either win-win or no deal compromise type situation for today, with the intent of continually moving this forward. And that is the way it is. It's because it's timeless universal common sense. So the principle, I, Dr. Grack, blank paper, and the skeleton first, then ask them, invite them to fill the flesh in, then go into the process of going round and round and round, onion peeling, open questions, reflecting, all that sort of stuff, and then eventually come out with a better plan at the end. So there you have it, the win-win agreement in 3 simple videos. I hope it's helpful to you. Please do give us a shout by phone or in writing if there's anything we've missed out. You think, actually, I think you should have included this, or this would have been helpful. What have we missed? Because if we missed something, I'll do another video and I'll replace it. I'll do a better video. Hopefully we haven't missed anything. Thanks very much for listening. Keep in touch. My name's Guy Arnold. My website is called slow-selling.org.